you're new to this channel, let me introduce myself. My name is Logan. This is Timeless Personal Growth and Development. And today we're talking about overcoming pet loss. I had a schedule planned for this week of what I wanted to talk about, and this was not the schedule. This is not the plan I had in mind. I'll usually make my schedule in advance, and I decided to throw the schedule out the window and talk about pet loss. And that could be a very, very traumatic experience for people when they lose a pet. And the main reason why I'm doing this is because I lost one a couple of days ago. Over the weekend, I lost a pet. It was my beloved cat of 10 years, and she got very sick, and I was in a situation where I had to make a call I did not want to make, and I was not ready to say goodbye. It was too soon for me, but I had to do it. And it sucks. It's terrible. And there's a few points I want to talk about when it comes to pet loss today. And one of the main points is, you hear people say this sometimes, or they say, well, why are you so upset? I mean, yeah, it's a pet, but it's not like it's a family member. I disagree. Your pet is a family member. And to me, and I'm sure a lot of people can sympathize with this, is your pet is the closest thing you'll have to children. If you don't have children, it's the closest thing you will ever have. Closest thing. And they are family members. And the bond and the companionship that you share with your pet, cat, dog, whatever, it's very, very similar to the bond that you share with your child. Very, very similar. I mean, you are the caregiver, you are the master, you are in charge, and they become just part of your life, and just part of your lifestyle. And for me, like, I lost my cat a couple days ago, and it's weird, like the tiny little behaviors, the things that you don't really think about when they're around. You look around, how much they, how much you're like very, very aware of those little behaviors, and you walk around the house and there's like this emptiness to it. And I'm sure some of you have gone through that too, where you come home after you've lost your pet, and there's this like, the silence and the emptiness is just, it's painful. It's painful. But there's nobody at home there at the door to greet you. It sucks. It's a horrible feeling. Horrible. And to me, when people say, well, it's just a pet. It's not like it's a human or a family member. That's downplaying. That's completely downplaying the actual grief that you're going through completely, and not accepting it. It is a family member. It's exactly the same as a family member. So by saying that, to me, completely downplays their grief. And to me, it's a defense mechanism. Well, it's not like it's a family member. It is. Your pet was a family member. And don't let anyone tell you otherwise. Your pet was. So another point I want to talk about is like coping strategies. How do you deal with it? Well, for me, I've 5 times. This is the 5th time I've gone through this, and it doesn't get any easier. It's any easier. This is the first time dealing with it in 13, 14 years, and I lost my first dog in 97, lost a dog in 2000. The dog got hit by a car. That was difficult. And I lost my other two dogs in 2008. And they passed within a 3-week span of each other, so that was challenging. And then and my cat. My cat, yeah, I had my cat for 10 years. And it's not like you build up some sort of endurance for this kind of stuff. It's never easy, never gets any easier. Well, how do you cope with it is the same thing way you would cope with of losing a friend, losing a family member, losing a parent, losing anybody. You're gonna go through that grief. It's gonna hit you hard. And in the beginning you got to get through the initial shock of them being gone and a loss. And the shock it's hard. The emotion is really raw. It's really intense. It's really strong, and you can't focus and think about anything. You have to get through that first. The initial shock phase, and where the emotion's intense and it's raw and you can't focus on anything. Get through that. How long that lasts, it depends on person to person. For me, I'm getting close to the end now of the initial shock phase of my cat being gone, and then honestly, from there is trying to focus on other things. You have a job, you have responsibilities. Go do those things. Once you get to the point where you can actually focus on other things, go do those things. Go do those responsibilities, because you're gonna you don't want to distract yourself completely, but you don't want to be sitting at home all week crying and thinking about it. That doesn't help. You need some sort of distraction, and you need to continue your life and continue routine, whether it's work, whether it's working out, whether it's reading. Continue doing what you're doing. It's hard when you come home and you feel that emptiness. I felt that today. Coming home and you feel that emptiness, it's not easy. But you got to continue doing that. But don't. And look right that. Look at that, right there. Know what that is? Yeah, you can see that. That's a piece of litter. I literally just found that piece of litter sitting right on my desk. I swear to God, I didn't plan it. I didn't plan for that to happen for this video, just for video purposes. I didn't plan that. It just how it got there. I have well, no idea. She was probably crawling on the desk the last time she was here. But you want to you want to celebrate their life, and that's going to help in the grieving process. Whether it's writing in a journal about them, of what they meant to you, making a little tribute video for them. That's what I decided to do. I contacted a bunch of people in my inner circle, family and friends, and like, hey, Dave, just send me a bunch of photos of her. Send me everything you have. Send me everything. So I'm just collecting all these photos from friends and family, and I'm just gonna spend a few weeks and make a tribute video. Just for me, just to keep, just for enjoyment purposes, just a little tribute for myself, and that actually helps the grieving process. It's sometimes hard because I'm sitting here at my desk, using my editing software and constantly looking at pictures of her. Yeah, after a certain point, I need a break. I need a timeout from that and come back later. But it's celebrating their life and cherishing them of what they meant to you, and hoping that you were capable of providing them for a great life, and have just memories of them. Get a framed picture of them and put them on your wall. I have it for all my dogs that I had in my past life. I have it. One's up there. There's a few over here. 3 pictures of my dogs right here, right by the window, and it's stuff like that. And in every single place I've ever lived, every apartment I've ever had, I've always carried that with me, and my cat's going to be no different. Cherish their memory. Remember them. Do some sort of tribute for them. They're not here. They're not going to remember it, but it's okay. It's not really for them. It's more for you to help your grieving process. And Another thing to help you get through this is you find this when you initially lose your pet, and I had this right away, is that you want to fill that void with another pet. Don't do that. Don't do. You got to fight that urge to get another pet to fill that void. It's it's almost similar as going through a breakup. You don't want to go jump in a relationship right away to fill that void that you're missing. No, you need to feel that void. You need to allow it to feel okay. After a certain point, that void's not going to feel as bad anymore. And maybe 6 months, a year, when you've moved on, then it's okay to get another pet. And speaking of moving on, I honestly don't think you move on at all from losing a pet. I know with my dogs I lost 13, 14 years ago, I've never truly moved on from it. No, because they were my boys, right? Of course. They're closest things to having sons as I could possibly have. And no, you don't really get over it. I honestly still have dreams about them. I still think about them from that time to time. They're on my wall. How can I avoid it? All right? So you don't want to. Oh, you really don't want to do that. And this is the hard one. I'm gonna end this video with this point is, and this is not just with pets. This is any kind of big tragic loss in your life when you're going through the grieving process. Is don't suppress those emotions. Don't do that. It's don't downplay your feelings. Do not downplay the the loss and the feelings that you're going to have. You're going to want to cry. You want to get emotional. You're going to want to break down. And allow that to happen. That's okay. That's fine. And, if you're at work and you feel like you're thinking about your loss, you feel like you're thinking about your pet, and you just want to cry and break down at work, don't do it at work. And I've done past videos about this and about not expressing your emotions. You want to, but not suppress them, and not express them either. You want to delay your emotions. Delay them so you can express them in the right context. At work is not the right context to express your emotions. You want to wait till you get home. Delay it. Delay your breakdown. Delay your emotions until you get home, and plan it out in your head. You're in the car. You don't want to start breaking down in the car driving because it's kind of dangerous, but plan it out right when I get into that door. Wait, right when I walk in, man, I'm gonna have such a great cry. I'm gonna cry my eyes out, and it's gonna be wonderful. think about think about it in the same way, like, oh man, I can't wait to get home and take a poop. I can't. That feeling when you get home and just like, oh my god, you're driving home, you can't wait to sit down on that can and let your poop go. Think about crying and be emotional in the exact same way. I can't wait to get home and to cry about my dog and cry about my cat and just embrace those emotions. Let those emotions hit you and let it take you over. Let it come in. Let your emotions do their thing. And however long it lasts, just let it hit you. And that feeling when you've been crying for too much and you get that pounding, pounding headache. That really annoying headache, and it just doesn't go away because the crying keeps going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, and you're just waiting for this headache to go away. Just let it hit you. Take it all in, let it hit you. Don't downplay any of the feelings, don't downplay any of the emotions. Accept everything what it is. You lost your pet, you lost your animal, you lost your beloved companion. It's going to be hard. It's going to be goddamn difficult. You're going to find little things throughout your day, tiniest little things that you're going to look at that's just going to remind you of them. I'm walking into a grocery store and walking past the cat food aisle, and I look at the cat food aisle. I'm getting emotional, behind my mask when I'm in the grocery store. It's stuff like that. You're driving and you pass the cat food store and stuff like that, and just gets you a little emotional. You're at a friend's place and having beers on the balcony, and then you look at another balcony, and you just see a cat or a dog, and just those little things just like remind you of your pet, and just remind you of those little things, and that's okay, and that's fine. But the important part to remember is embrace it. Embrace it, let it hit you, celebrate their life. Look at the fact that you were able to provide them with a great life, and don't regret the fact that you may have made a good or bad call in ending their life. You made a call, and the call was to end their suffering. You had to do it. You had to end their suffering. There's no way out of it. It may have prolonged your suffering, but you know what? You did it for them, and that's okay, and there's nothing wrong with that. And it's going to be hard. It's going to be challenging. Find different ways to distract yourself. Try different techniques and different strategies to fill that void in your home. You're so used to having them around and you feel that empty void. Do different activities. Find different things to do. Get creative. Use the same strategy like what I used for the first lockdown of this pandemic. Not working, you're trying to find stuff to do. Find stuff to do. New things to do. You have so much time on your hands. Find new things to do. The same thing. Find new things to do. Those things that the time that you would normally spend with your pet, with your companion. Find new things to fill that. And ready to move on from that. Maybe get another pet. But know that's going to be okay. Because 3 days ago, I lost my cat of 10 years, and it sucks. But you know what? Oh, I think it'll be okay. They'll move on. They just got to remember that I provided them with the best life possible. I had to make a really hard decision, a hard call, and yeah, there's going to be emotional moments, and that's okay. That's fine. It's all part of life. And on that note, thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, you can like, comment, and subscribe. Logan Ryder, Timeless Personal Growth and Development. And I will be seeing you all in the next video. Have a good one.